Hey everyone, welcome to another video by SingularityComputers. Today I'm taking a look at a PC lighting system from Phobya. This lighting system uses LED strips, but it has some unique features. Lighting is something that can really improve the aesthetics of your build. I mean, for those of you who go to the extent of spending a fortune and putting in a lot of effort to make your build look incredible, lighting is something that can really top things off. Now I'm actually taking a look at two separate products today because you need to purchase the LED strips themselves and the controller separately. So the controller comes in this little package. It's called the Phobya RGB Flex Light controller with infrared remote control. The LED strips come in a package that looks like this. And there's some important things to take into consideration when purchasing the LED strips. Only the RGB LED strips will work with this lighting system, because Phobya doesn't just sell the RGB lighting LED strips, they also sell, all different colored LED strips. And the way to, really know which one it is, all the other LED strips come with Molex connectors. The RGB LED strips don't come with the Molex connectors because they're designed to plug straight into the controller. So there's all the different colors that you can get. RGB. There's the different lengths that you can get, so 30 centimeter, 60 centimeter, 120 centimeter, and 240 centimeter. You can read that right up if you want to. So yeah, all the other colors besides RGB are designed to be standalone LED strips. So I'm just going to turn off the LEDs and give you a good look at them. So these LED strips are a little bit different. They're actually encased in a rectangular piece of rubber. It is very thick, and these things are really designed to take a beating, but they're still quite flexible. They also have robust end caps. They're actually waterproof LED strips. Now there's one more thing to take into consideration when purchasing the LED strips. There's two different versions. There's the low density version and the high density version. So the high density obviously has more LEDs, so it's going to be brighter. This is the low density version, so you can see the LEDs are quite spread out. So all you do is pull the cover off the back and then stick it on. So you can see that they're also sleeved. And the sleeving isn't perfect, but I'm just glad to see that they included sleeving at all. The LED strips that I have here today are all the 60 centimeter low density versions, and of course they're the RGB versions so that they work with the controller. Now what comes in the package with the controller, so it all comes in this little box. You get the remote control, which comes with an included battery, and you get the controller. So the controller can run 3 LED strips. You can see the 3 cables, 1, 2, 3, and I've just got one of them unplugged so that you can see the plug. So 4 pins. Now I'll just give you a look at the LED strip end as well, so you can see the 4 pins just there. Now you can see that the pins actually come out of the LED strip itself as well, so they unplug from both sides, and this makes it a little bit difficult when unplugging it, because you can sometimes leave the pins behind in the controller and sometimes leave them in the LED strip, but that's just minor. Now I just have a ruler out to measure the cables. So the cables from the controller to the LED strip plug is 250 millimeters, and the cables the LED strip cables are also 250 millimeters. So once you plug in the LED strip, you have half a meter away from the controller itself. So, you know, that's a decent amount of length to be able to hide this controller around the back of your build somewhere. Okay, so you also get, of course, the power cable, and this actually plugs into the controller. Just a look at the plug. So the whole thing is powered by a single 4-pin Molex, and I've just got that plugged in there. You can see the cable is sleeved. Again, the sleeving is pretty decent. I'm just glad to see that they included it. And the 4-pin Molex actually only has 2 pins, that's all it's needed. Black connector. Now the power cable is approximately 350 millimeters long. Okay, now for a look at the controller box itself. So it's nice and small and compact. It's going to be fairly easy to hide somewhere around the back of your build. So you can see all of the LED cables come out there. You've got the power cable that plugs into the top, and you also have the infrared sensor cable here, which comes out about 150 millimeters from the controller box. So that is something to take into consideration. You've only got about 150 millimeters from the controller box to run the infrared sensor out to somewhere that's in line of sight from the remote control. But I have tested the remote control, you know, with the infrared sensor, and it does pick it up very well, even if you're on a different angle, you know, pointing it in the opposite direction. I mean, I had this kind of shoved underneath this build here, and it still picked it up really well. So I doubt you'll have a problem, you know, with the infrared sensor picking up the remote control signal. But I do definitely, of course, recommend putting this somewhere in line of sight. Hide it amongst some cables somewhere around the front of your build. And this cable should have been longer, because it's going to be what could be difficult in different builds is getting this controller box to somewhere where you can, you know, get this infrared sensor in line of sight. But anyway, you've had a decent look at that. So you can see you could screw the controller box on. It's got mounts for that. And I'm just going to turn it around, give you a look at the back. Something else that could be a little bit of a problem with this controller box, some cases only give you maybe 15 millimeters, you know, behind the motherboard tray. And I mean, that is kind of a bare minimum. But this controller box is 20 millimeters high. Okay, so just something else to take into consideration. Now I'll give you a good look at the remote control. So you can see there all the different colors. You've got off and on. You can change the brightness up here. White, flash, strobe, fade and smooth. I'm now going to take you through all the different colors, show you the different brightnesses, and yeah, show you the different functionality of the remote control. So it's nice and small and compact. It's really light, it's thin. You can see the type of battery that it takes is the CR2025, and it just pops in the bottom there. So as I said, it comes included with a battery. Alright, time to get this thing up and running. Okay, so first of all I will switch it on, and I'm just going to let you see what I'm doing on the remote control. So it's currently set to white, and I'll just take you through the different brightness levels. It's currently as bright as it goes, but keep in mind this is the low density version, so the high density version is going to be a lot brighter. Okay, so there's 8 brightness levels. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So I'm just going to turn it right back up, and now I'm going to go through all of the different colors. green. So the camera might not be picking up the difference between some of them, but blue and UV. And this UV lighting actually looks very close to, you know, a UV color that's going to be highly effective, because some UV lighting that you get, it's not actually UV, it's kind of more of a purple or pinkish light, and it doesn't really work properly. It doesn't bring out UV reactive components. Now, something to consider is, you know, usually you're stuck with either going for the UV effect, either that, or going for the opposite effect. What I mean is, say you have UV reactive tubing and coolant and it's red. So the two colors that would look really cool with a system like that is, of course, either red lighting right the way through or UV lighting. So the red lighting is going to light up the entire system. You know, it's going to reflect off all of the components, you know, the motherboard, the graphics cards, everything. It's going to shine on everything. But the UV lighting is mostly only going to reflect off the UV reactive components, so the tubing and the coolant, so it gives like a glow in the dark effect. And normally you're stuck with either one or the other, but this lighting system is going to give you both. One day, you know, you can run UV, the next day you can run with red. So it's great to have all those different options. But anyway, I'll leave the rest of that for the conclusion. So there we go, you've even got pink. Now, back to white. Okay, now, flash. So that flashes through all the different colours. Strobe just flashes on and off white. Fade, fades through all the different colours. And smooth, again, going through the different colours. Okay, that's going to be giving you some of you a headache, so... Okay, it's now time for me to conclude this video. So a lot of times when I've set up lighting system in builds, you know, I've gone and set them up with a switch panel on the front of the case so that you can switch the lights on and off, because you might not want them on all the time. If your system's in the room that you're sleeping in, you're obviously going to want to turn them off. And having a switch panel, it's a lot of extra cost, it's a lot of extra wiring to do. And you know, that's something that this lighting system completely rules out. You don't need a switch panel, you don't even need to be near your build. You know, it's a compact system, the controller is nice and small, the remote control is small, it's going to be easy to hide away and easy to deal with. The LED strips just stick onto your build anywhere where they fit. You've got the options of all the different lengths depending on the size of your case. You know, you can go high density or low density depending on how bright you want it to be. The only problems that I could foresee with this system is the length of the cables, but that's only if you've got an absolutely massive case. And there's no real way of extending the cables, so it could be a little bit of a problem. I mean, you're just going to have to put the controller in a central location, somewhere where the infrared sensor cable can be kind of in line of sight to your side panel window. But aside from that, the quality is pretty good. I mean, the sleeving could be better, but as I said, I'm just glad to see that they included sleeving. The LED strips themselves, they're waterproof. They can take a beating because they're surrounded in, you know, a lot thicker rubber than you normally see on LED strips. You've got the nice big end caps. The controller box itself, you know, it's not just a PCB uncovered on its own, it's encased in a nice little box. So all of that is great to see. So I do get a lot of people saying that lighting is completely pointless, you know, because I use lighting in all of my builds. And I mean, I agree, it can be pretty pointless if it's not used properly. If you use lighting correctly, if you put it in the right places, if you use the right colors for your build, it can look absolutely amazing. You know, it can enhance the aesthetics of your build so much. That sums up this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and favorite if you want to see more.